What's up, guys? Sound Alchemist here, right next to
Gersh1,
and we are back at it answering your questions in another installment of For the Greater.
And this question comes from Mr. Ty Hill, coming in with that dope question. How or who do you think is the top 10 most powerful people in the Warhammer 40K universe in the Imperium of Man? I chopped up your question, but that's what you meant.
Okay.
So, to name 10 top people would take us forever. Not really, but
Yeah, I mean, nobody likes top 10s. I mean, look at Watch Mojo, all-time top 10s. That Santino dude, right? Nobody watches those.
No, so we're going to do top 5.
Right. So, number one, the Emperor.
Of course.
Yeah, he's not dead, so he still counts as being alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he is in the Imperium.
Exactly.
Number two,
what did we say?
Drago.
Caldo Drago. The reason we picked this guy is, number one, he's a beast, physically.
Yeah.
Number two, he has the backing of the Inquisition, and if you don't know, the Inquisition to the Imperium of Man is basically like the FBI, CIA, and whatever the hell Russia has, all put together.
Yeah. And he basically lives in the warp, and he's lived there for 1,000 years, and he's not tainted, and he's beating demons all the time.
Yeah. Number two, number 2 and 3, or number 3 and 4
is it's a toss-up. We said it could either be Dante, Chapter Master of the Blood Angels, or Marnius Calgar, the Chapter Master of the Ultramarines.
The reason behind that is Dante just has so much loyalty. He's the oldest and wisest. And then, what's his name? Calgar, because Calgar is Ultramarines, and the Ultramarines have their shit together.
Right. They're the poster boys.
Yeah. And then the fifth one will probably have to be... Well, let's do honorable mentions.
All right.
Honorable mentions would be Slight Marble.
Yeah. You can't just ignore this guy.
Because the internet can't ignore that guy.
Right. He's in every top 10, top 5.
And we were going to say the Armageddon guy, Commissar Yarick.
Yeah.
But technically, he's never killed the God School. Like, yeah, he got out of there and he's pretty beast, but his army, like, he doesn't command a huge army like the other guys that we've talked about.
And they let him escape. It's like, we could kill you, but it's fun dealing with you, so go ahead.
Exactly. But the fifth one is the Chapter Master of the Space Wolves,
Logan Grimnar.
And the reason behind that is the Space Wolves do not adhere to the Codex Astartes, so they have way more than 1,000 Space Marines. Yeah. So he has the largest army that he can call upon.
They even said a big F you to the Imperium.
So those are our top 5 lists. Please comment down below and give us your top 5 list. I'm really interested to hear the reasonings behind that, but just make sure to put top 5 and then list your top 5 so that we can
figure out and differentiate from the rest of the questions.
Yeah.
And now on to your
questions for this week. Don't forget, for next week, if you guys want to ask us questions like this awesome question that we just answered, please comment down below with question followed by the topic.
Yeah. So this one is by the homie Drago Kuvalo. I butchered that. But he asks, where are the Nekron Titans at? Necrons don't really have Titans. As far as I know, their biggest and baddest vehicle kind of thing is like a mega monolith. Now think of a monolith just like huge, and sometimes they have like Catans inside of them, and it's just basically an indestructible pillar of destruction.
Yes. Next question comes from Lennox St. Hilaire. How does mono weapons work in 40K? Because in real life, such weapon would dull really fast. So a chainsword would only kill 3 or 8 guys. STCs, new technology. I mean, if you can't compare technology today to technology of 40K.
This one's by the homie Kyle Morgan. Can Space Marines die of old age? If so, how long can they live without being put in a dreadnought?
Is there a lifespan for Space Marines?
As far as I know, no. Because as we were talking about before, Dante, he's lived for, I think, 1,500 years? Somewhere around there. Because they change it from time to time. But yeah, so I want to say at least 1,500, probably more. But yeah.
Yeah. Next question comes from Magic Eye. What if the Emperor was either to die or be able to be up to full strength without the need of the Golden Throne? That'd be awesome. For if he was if he like regained his powers.
Yeah.
If he died, then there's gonna be, demons in Terra, chaos, and just
basically bad shit.
Yeah, bad shit would happen.
This one's by John Redcorn. Super question. Other than DBZ, what other anime characters would be OP in the Warhammer universe? I think Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star would give the Emperor a run for his money. That dude will kill people with a flick of the wrist. Let's see.
Bobby's from Bobby's World.
Easily. Corey from Corey in the House.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait until he gets out of the house. Like, we're done.
Yeah. Topanga.
Oh, damn. I didn't even think about that one.
I think she would just show up and the Emperor would get up, bow down, and offer his service to her. But really, One Punch Man.
Yeah, easily. You think he could take the Emperor on in his prime with just one punch?
I haven't really watched that series too much.
Dude, you need to watch it.
But I like from the memes, I hear he's pretty tough.
He is literally, I think, right now the strongest. Sorry, Goku, but I think he's the strongest one right now. Because nobody's even come close to what he can do.
I think Avatar, Aang, like him by himself in the battlefield, I think he would.
But again,
he'd get shot up.
Yeah, he'd get shot up.
No,
unless he could bend the metal and the bullets and all that. Yeah. Because they do metal bend now.
But if you look at certain characters like the Cowboy Bebop crew, Ghost in the Shell, stuff like that, where they're not necessarily armies, but they're units that kind of do the whole infiltrate, piracy kind of stuff, they would succeed. Yeah. They would, by taking on the 40K universe, I mean, they'll be able to live in it and be successful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next question comes from Halo LR15 Light Leaf. Would you guys want to live, or would you guys want to see a live-action Warhammer 40K movie? And if so, what part of the lore would you want it to be about?
We've talked about this before, kind of, in one way or another, but let them know, Gersh.
Well, there'll be a bunch of, Horus Heresy would be awesome, the Armageddon Wars would be awesome, talking about Imperial Citizens would be awesome. I think it would be really cool to see, a Twilight Zone type of show, where you go, story to story, showing off the different Xenos that exist. You're always talking from the point of view of a human, because it's easier for a viewer to relate to the Imperium citizen. But you're exploring astral, or you're exploring the warp crew, just a bunch of cool
going
stuff.
All over the universe. Yeah. This one's by the homie Halvlos. Is it possible that another group of human psychers, like the Druids, could join together to form the Emperor at some point? And they're talking about joining together to make another soul like the Emperor. Two emperors?
What's interesting is that I think GW, of course, is going to put all their money into the Imperium because, again, the whole you can relate to the Imperium because we're human and they're human. But in reality, it's an enormous galaxy with a ton of races. The Imperium is one that's failing right now. So there has to be another race, the Tau, or maybe even another race that could
take their place.
Yeah, psychically. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that the Tau are psychic or anything like that, but what I'm saying is that yes, it is possible. To answer your question, yes. Next question comes from Dragon Punch 903. Who's the ugliest of the Primarchs and who's the best looking?
I want to say best looking is between Sanguinius and Fulgrim.
I would say best looking would be Magno, because he has red hair.
He's got one eye.
Hey, that's sexy. Ferris Manus. Ugliest, Perturabo.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Perturabo.
He probably has warts on his dick.
He's all hunched and shit. I don't know.
Next question.
This one's by John Howard. Do Space Marines still have penises, or are they surgically removed during augmentation?
Good question. Never bothered to ask anybody. I would say they still have them.
I mean, why remove it?
Yeah.
Like, what do they do with all?
How do they urinate? Right.
Right. Well, they have like, I think their suits of armor like take care of all that like body waste.
Like a catheter.
Something like. Yeah. And they use it as fuel or something. I don't know. But
these questions are taking us to weird places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question comes from Zachary Hobson. If the Emperor is a perpetual like Vulcan, someone who cannot die from any wound or old age, then why doesn't he heal from his wounds? Is he sustained while fighting Horus? Would he heal if he died like Vulcan? Okay.
All right. So I'll talk about one thing and I'll take it over to Gersh. So if he were to die and then come back, yes, he'd probably be healed and he'd come back, in his prime. But at the moment of death, that would cause horrible deaths of the Imperium because demons would pour in. The Astronomicon would like non-exist, meaning there wouldn't be any means of sustainable warp travel. And who knows how long it'll actually take him to come back from that. So that's gonna fuck shit up pretty bad.
Yep. Now, as far as why hasn't he healed himself, he's in constant battle in the warp. He does not rest. He's not like... No, yeah, he doesn't rest. He just keeps fighting.
Yeah, it's all constant psychic battles. Even though his body is chilling, he's fighting it out in the warp.
Yep.
Tag teaming with Drago.
Next question comes from Max Gregor. Who is the most powerful woman in the Imperium, either politically or in combat?
First thing that came to mind was Saint Celestine. But
Can you play as her?
Yeah, there's a model for her.
Okay, then yeah, I would say her as well. Just because that's the only woman that I can think of. Other than a Sisters of Battle, right?
Or a female Ogren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Colin Torner Todd. Do you think the Chaos Worshipper started the Imperial Creed and was the first to worship the Emperor as a god? So the first person to worship, or the person that started the Chaos Worshipping, or the Imperial Creed was Lorgar.
Right.
And he was he corrupted already? Like,
he wasn't corrupted then, but very soon after he was. We've got lore both on the Creed and on Logar, so watch our videos. They came out pretty recently, so you don't have to search too far for them.
Next question comes from Random Realistic Tone. Do you think GW will add more units to the Sisters of Battle?
Probably not. I feel like they're just gonna update the sculpts, make them plastic, and I don't really think they're gonna add anything new. More like a supplement army than an actual, full-scale one.
Right. The next question comes from 8-Bit Englishman. What would the Imperium be like without the Codex Astartes being written, and with the Imperial Army split into the Guard and Navy, or without it being split? I think it would have been susceptible to a demagogue. So in other words, Trump would have already taken power. No, yeah, I think the reason that they broke it up into the Navy and the Imperial Guard was because of that. The Horus Heresy showed them that.
What one man with all this power can do.
Yeah. So, chaos. Next question comes from Hayden Robbie. Sorry for this, and you don't have to answer, but from the Primarch free-for-all question, answer you guys gave, I just have to ask, do either of you have girlfriends/boyfriends? Or more importantly, were you joking about the whole homosexual thing? I don't care either way, it's just, every time I try to place you guys, you then say something that throws my assumption out of the window. Like I said, you don't have to answer, just felt like I needed to ask. And if you want this question deleted, just ask. You don't have to delete the question, we'll keep you guessing.
Yeah.
And we'll end it there. Thank you guys so much for sending the questions our way. If you have more questions, please comment down below with question followed by the topic that you guys want us to discuss. We have a Patreon video coming out, so it's the same thing as this. So your question might be answered in that Patreon video. Just please jump on over there, $1, and you get free videos, or more videos, I should say.
Right. Yeah. As always, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. That's what keeps this channel going. As always, we thank you. And I'm the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
We're One Mind Syndicate, and we're out of here.